Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes has joined more than 20 lawsuits against the Trump administration, most recently involving changes to the Affordable Care Act and the release of federal education funds. To talk about these court actions and more, we welcome Attorney General Kris Mayes. Good to see you again.
You too, Ted. Thanks for having me.
Here. Thanks for taking some time out from suing the Trump administration for showing up on the show. We appreciate it.
To be precise, it's 24 times.
24. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was more than 20, but you know, it's a moving figure.
It is.
Let's before we get to those, I want to talk about you've come out very strong against ICE agents wearing masks when they're apparently, reportedly, and what they say is doing their job. Why?
So, look, as the state's top law enforcement officer, I think it's important to tell it like it is, which is that real lawmen and women do not wear masks. We don't in Arizona, for the most part. In some very rare circumstances, if my officers, my special agents are going undercover or doing very sensitive investigations, we'll wear masks or not wear our identifying information or identifying badges, but that hardly ever happens. And so the problem is that by allowing ICE to wear masks, it creates these sort of what I think are safety concerns and situations where people don't know who's arresting them, who's detaining them. And, you know, we're already starting to see copycat situations where criminals are, you know, dressing up like ICE agents and in some cases, in a couple of cases, kidnapping people. And we know the individuals in Minnesota, the legislators who were assassinated by someone who was, dressed up like a police officer. So it's unsafe, and it also destroys trust in law enforcement writ large, I think.
And yet DHS, ICE, they say that they have to do this. It protects officers from assault. It protects officers from their identity being shown online, doxing, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, look, I mean, we all, in law enforcement, we all have to deal with the potential for doxing. But, so this is something that we all live with. I get doxxed, I get threats. This is something that we live with. But you have to balance that against the possibilities, the other possibilities that are raised when you allow people to wear masks. And so from my standpoint, and I think the standpoint of a lot of AGs across the country, and just law enforcement, police officers, and police chiefs that I've spoken to, they say it's not necessary, and we don't do it.
Yeah, and last point on this, ICE is saying that's a nice argument. ICE agents will continue wearing masks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I have expressed directly to ICE that in Arizona, I don't want to see it, but as you know, that's not my call per se.
It is your call whether or not you're going to join lawsuits or instigate lawsuits or somewhere in between. 24, you say now.
24.
The Obamacare lawsuit involves changes to the Affordable Care Act. And talk about those changes and why you decided to join in here.
So my criteria for when I decide to join Arizona into a lawsuit against Donald Trump and the administration, Elon Musk and Doge, et cetera, is number one, does it violate the Constitution? Is it unlawful? And number two, does it harm Arizona? And in this case, clearly both of those factors were met. It was unconstitutional and unlawful what they did. It violated, the APA. Many of these situations violate the separation of powers. And more than 400,000 people in Arizona, Ted, will likely lose their health insurance under these changes that the Trump administration unilaterally made without Congress's approval.
This shortens the enrollment period. It increased out-of-pocket costs. I think it kicks Dreamers off of ACA as well.
Right.
The administration says that those numbers are inflated because all most of these people have to do is do the paperwork, do the documentation, cross the I's and dot the T's.
Well, look, this is what they're saying, but look at what they're doing. What they are doing is throwing roadblocks in the way of people getting health care that those people are due. And they're, in addition to that, Ted, they're doing it in a way that is blatantly unconstitutional or unlawful. And so, as the chief legal officer of Arizona, I have to file that lawsuit.
And this would also, I believe, force states to do something to pick up some of this slack, does it not?
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of these cases, yes, and in almost all of these cases, they're expecting the states to pick up the tab for what they are trying to dump on us. And our legislature, I don't hear any stirrings of our legislature coming back into session to address this or any of the other holes that the Trump administration is blowing in our budget with these executive orders.
What about the education lawsuit and the funds that are supposed to be released by the administration? Some were. Do we know how much were released and how much Arizona got?
Yeah, so they sort of capitulated on the 21st Century grants. That's a small portion of the $132 million in education funding that they ripped away from Arizona schools. This is funding that, again, was already appropriated by Congress, is due to the states every July 1st, and state schools and school districts rely on this funding for everything from, after-school programs. This is going to leave parents in the lurch as school starts, here right around the corner in the next couple weeks. Summer programs, teacher support, school safety officers. So we're going to see police officers who lose their jobs because Donald Trump unilaterally decided to do this.
And again, the lawsuit is because A, what you're saying is it impacts Arizona, but
Yes.
B, it was enacted illegally.
It was enacted illegally. I mean, they did not have the authority to do this. It is a violation of the separation of powers. Only Congress could do this. And then it was also a violation of several other statutory provisions.
But this and the other lawsuits that you've been involved with and the state has been involved with, what the president's supporters will say is he is the president. He does have the authority, the executive authority, to do as he wishes with these types of things. Is he wrong? Are they wrong?
Yeah, that's a monarchy. We don't have a king in this country. That is absolutely antithetical to what our system of government is. And so that's why it's so important for the Democratic AGs or AGs writ large. I wish we had some Republicans who would join us in these lawsuits because, keep in mind, we're winning, Ted. We went back and looked at those 24 lawsuits. We've won 80% of them. But the Republican states, which have Republican AGs, are not filing these lawsuits, which means those states are getting harmed really badly.
The filing of these lawsuits, and you mentioned Republicans in state are criticizing you for spending time doing this, and they point to a recent report in the Arizona Republic regarding open meeting laws. You closed up to 100 open meeting laws, lack of resources cited, these sorts of things. First of all, what's that all about? And is that something that, if you weren't involved with some of these other lawsuits, you could have taken care of?
No, and in fact, the record shows that I have handled more open meeting law cases than my predecessor did, who was a Republican. And in fact, it's the legislature who isn't funding my office appropriately. We came into office and found an enormous backlog, I think of more than 900 open meeting law cases or 800, something like that, that hadn't been handled or were sitting dormant. So we started whittling away at that. And then more recently, as we continued to work on these cases, we looked at the ones that were really old, very stale, and sent letters out and said to folks, look, you can refile this with us, but we think this particular one is too old. That's what you're talking about. But that's a red herring, and it's obviously something the Republicans want to throw at the wall as I continue to uphold the rule of law.
Have any of them been refiled?
I'd have to check on that. I don't think so, but that, again, it just shows you that they are cases that, maybe shouldn't have been sent over in the first place, perhaps, or just kind of resolved themselves.
All right, so when critics say, you're too busy doing this, you should be doing that, you say?
I say look at everything that we're doing, from protecting consumers against fraud, from reviving antitrust law in Arizona, to going after the Saudis and the water that they are taking out of western Arizona, to being the AG who has seized more fentanyl than any other attorney general in Arizona history. See what we're doing, see what we're accomplishing.
All right, Attorney General Chris Mayes, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
You too.